Will Harvard follow Columbia's settlement path? Analysis and implications. Imagine a world where universities are forced to choose between their academic freedom and federal funding. This is the stark reality for institutions like Harvard as they watch Columbia University navigate a contentious settlement with the federal government. But will Harvard follow suit? The answer hangs precariously in the balance, as both sides weigh the costs and benefits of acquiescing to federal demands. Columbia's path might seem appealing at first glance. The university will regain access to billions of dollars in frozen federal funding by agreeing to pay $200 million over 3 years and $21 million to address civil rights violations against Jewish employees. Additionally, an independent monitor will ensure Columbia implements agreed-upon changes. Yet, Columbia insisted that this agreement doesn't infringe on core principles of academic freedom, and it didn't admit wrongdoing. However, certain aspects of the agreement have sparked controversy. For instance, Columbia agreed to exclude race as a factor in hiring and admissions, a move that aligns with a 2023 Supreme Court decision. Moreover, the agreement includes adopting a definition of antisemitism that some find contentious. Harvard, on the other hand, has been vocal about resisting federal influence. The university has waged a months-long campaign to defend its independence, garnering significant public support. Harvard professor Stephen Levetsky emphasized that backtracking now would be incredibly costly for the university. One key point of contention is the requirement to report student information to the federal government. While Columbia agreed to such measures, Harvard backers argue that this compromises the very essence of academic freedom. Harvard has already secured some legal victories and has a substantial endowment, but the Trump administration continues to pressure the university with funding freezes and civil rights investigations. The question remains, will Harvard find itself in a similar bind? Some, like Adam Kissel from the Heritage Foundation, believe that Harvard should be next in line for reform, citing Columbia's agreement as a model. Others, like former Harvard President Lawrence Summers, see the agreement as a positive template for future settlements. Yet others vehemently oppose these pressures, calling them an existential threat to higher education's autonomy. The debate is far from over, and the future of academic freedom hangs in the balance. As the situation unfolds, one thing is clear. The stakes are high, and the outcome will significantly impact the future of higher education in the United States. So, will Harvard follow Columbia's lead? Or will it continue to stand firm against federal pressure? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The path forward will be fraught with challenges and controversies. What do you think? Should universities prioritize federal funding over academic freedom, or should they stand firm against external pressures? But here's where it gets more complex. The agreement between Columbia and the federal government also addresses issues beyond higher education, such as diversity programs and civil rights definitions that exclude transgender athletes. These broad implications make the debate even more contentious. And this is the part most people miss. The fight for academic freedom isn't just about Harvard or Columbia. It's about the future of higher education itself. As the battle lines are drawn, it's crucial for us to consider the implications of these actions on a broader scale. The controversy surrounding these agreements sparks an important question. Should universities be forced to conform to federal demands if they want to maintain funding? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Harvard should follow Columbia's path? Or should it continue to resist federal pressure? Trump's pressure on elite colleges. Harvard, Columbia, and the anti-Semitism investigations. Imagine a scenario where one of the world's most prestigious institutions, Harvard University, finds itself under intense pressure from the Trump administration to settle allegations of anti-Semitism. But here's where it gets controversial. This isn't just about Harvard. The administration is targeting several other elite colleges, including the University of Michigan, Northwestern, Cornell, and Brown, demanding millions of dollars to resolve similar issues. The catalyst for this push comes from a significant settlement made by Columbia University, which agreed to pay over $200 million to address claims of anti-Semitism and discriminatory hiring practices. As part of the deal, Colombia also committed to oversight by an independent monitor and provided $21 million in compensation to affected Jewish staff and faculty. In return, the federal government lifted a freeze on more than $1 billion in federal grants and funding to the university. A senior White House official described the Colombia settlement as a blueprint for future agreements with other institutions. The administration views these payments as settlements for what they consider failures to adequately address anti-Semitism. According to the official, each school involved in these negotiations has either faced legal action or is under threat of an ongoing investigation. The financial implications extend far beyond just these 5 institutions. The U.S. Department of Education has flagged 60 universities for investigation into anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment following widespread protests related to the Israel-Gaza conflict during the 2023-24 academic year. Among these, Colombia was the first to experience federal funding cuts, which significantly impacted its research operations. Interestingly, Harvard has taken a different approach. Instead of negotiating a settlement, the university has filed a lawsuit against the government, arguing that withholding federal grants to force institutional changes is illegal and unconstitutional. This situation raises broader questions about the balance between civil rights enforcement and academic autonomy. How far should the government go in regulating campus behavior? Should institutions be held financially accountable for past actions, or is there a better way to address and prevent such issues? The controversy doesn't stop there. Another recent agreement involved the University of Pennsylvania, where the administration froze $175 million in funding due to the university's policies on transgender athletes. Penn ultimately agreed to change its stance and apologize to affected athletes, leading to the reinstatement of funding. Given these precedents, it's clear that the Trump administration intends to use these settlements as a template for future negotiations with other universities. The question remains, will other institutions follow Colombia's lead, or will they continue to resist what some view as undue government interference? These developments underscore the complex challenges facing higher education institutions in maintaining a safe and inclusive environment while navigating the ever-evolving landscape of civil rights enforcement.